So wait, you want to be buried with a tree coming up out of your body? Because that is a thing, right? Like that's what they do.
Well, they cremate you, so it's not like they just put your dead body in the ground and put the tree on top of you so it grows through you.
Okay.
That's disgusting. No, they creep. Can you imagine sitting there and then roots growing through your body? And...
like Groot, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, man, I want to be buried. I want to be cremated and buried with in the root of a tree and then have the tree grow. That's it.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, that's
all right,
it.
cool, man. A little forest party. Where
Yeah,
at?
absolutely.
Do you know where?
Somewhere overlooking the ocean.
I'd love to have a good... probably West Coast then.
Yeah, West Coast. Somewhere is overlooking the ocean.
The redwoods. I mean, this is one of the most beautiful forests in the world. And north of that is the oldest forest in the world. There's trees up there that are 4,000 years old.
Wow. There you go. Let me be buried up there. Yeah, I want to.
Yeah. You don't even know where they are though. They like keep them secret because so people don't cut them down.
Oh my God! Why would you? Who would cut down a 4,000-year-old tree?
Right?
That's
shit,
just dumb.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably the same people who the people who hunt big game hunters, right?
Yeah.
The trophy hunters or whatever. What do they call them? Poachers.
Yeah. Assholes.
Assholes. Yeah, that's exactly.
Welcome to Spitballin. I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. Oh no, I did it wrong, right? I'm supposed to say what's up, and then you say that part.
Yeah, exactly. So I was about to say
reverse it. You say it this time. Let's see how that goes.
Okay. So I'm Reggie. No, hell, here we go. So this is Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and yeah, no. What do you usually say? You say,
I go, what's up, everyone? This is Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
Okay. All right. Let's try it again.
But you're gonna have to reverse it because you're not Sal Kalani.
I can't. No, I'm not Sal Kalani. No. What's up, everybody? I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Sal Kalani.
And welcome to Spitballin.
Well, wait, buddy, you came in a little hot there. You always come in a little hot. You always like to come in a little hot, right? We can hear you. It's okay. See, it's not so easy when you're on the other side.
No, you're right. Once you get used to your way.
Yeah.
So yeah, sad morning, Reg. Last night, our hero LeBron James got taken out of the first round of the playoffs, dude. It's a moment of silence out there in podcast land.
Just so we can be clear, you said our hero. That's hard for me to say. Right.
It's a little,
it's a little extreme.
Our idol, our demigod, our semi-god, like
our
Hercules.
Idol? No idols.
You know, half god, half human man.
Yeah, but no gods, man. I can't. There's no way that I can idolize another man. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Well, no, I would say a player we love.
Yes. How about that? A player that we respect and love and admire. Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, man,
injuries, I feel, caught up to them.
Oh, absolutely. Injuries, lack of chemistry, continuity. And let's be honest, man, they could not throw it in the ocean. The basket was like this big for them. They couldn't, it just had a lid on it. I mean, all the layups they missed, LeBron didn't have any lift, obviously. And I told you he didn't, we could see that he wasn't 100%. But
I mean, he still did like 29 last night.
Yeah. Once their pride kicked in and they were
they had no AD and nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma, he stinks, dude. They're trying to replace AD.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle.
He makes too many mistakes, though, man.
He's young. He doesn't have a high basketball IQ. Like,
Kendall Jenner upgraded when she went from Kyle Kuzma to Devin Booker.
You think?
Wait, at least basketball-wise, yeah.
Wait. Kendall Jenner used to date Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. She's getting her Kim Kardashian on, huh?
He got hit with the Kardashian curse, and now he's sitting there with highlights in LA missing bunny hops.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, those Kardashians, though, they really like to, how do I say this? Fuck everybody.
They like the athletes.
Especially the athletes, yeah.
I remember one time I was watching a game, and it was like, what was his name? Miles Austin or Austin Miles, the wide receiver for the Cowboys. He used to date her. And then he was playing against Reggie Bush, who also used to date her. And then he switched over to basketball, and Humphreys, the guy from
Chris
Nets,
Humphreys.
He's on there. You're like,
yeah. Dude. Hey.
Kanye now. Not anymore.
Man, all I'm saying is, hey, I play this, the athletes. It's hard to resist us, man. I mean, come on. Think about it. It is. And I'm not, I'm former now. I'm former. So I'm a shell of myself. But think about it. Think about the athlete and think about women in general, right? You got a guy who's like the center of attention, who's in phenomenal shape, who's making a lot of money. A lot of times they're charismatic, right? They're fun. They have access. If you're a woman and you got your choice, women are drawn to men in positions of power, right? Like that's just what it is. That's just the truth of the matter. So if you're a guy that, I guess keeps other guys in check, then why not like that dude?
Well, I think a
So
lot of it's if you're on, it's like a stage thing, and you're on stage, even if you're on the court, and with all eyes on you, and yeah, the
yes,
people are attracted to that.
exactly. Same thing with comedy. Exact same thing. You're on
Yeah,
stage, you're funny, and if you make women love to laugh. They
right,
love to laugh.
right.
If you can make you can be ugly as hell, but if you can make a
Yeah,
woman
we
laugh,
yeah we know some ugly dudes who've been with some good looking ladies, and you're like,
exactly. And you know what they do? They
he must have
laugh their
killed that
asses off.
night.
Hey, look, I'm not saying no names. I ain't calling nobody. It ain't my place to judge, right? I'm
But
not.
yo, I've seen cavemen dating angels, folks. So it's possible.
That's funny. That's funny.
But
So
so now what with the playoffs, dude? Now what?
I'm done,
You're done. You're not even gonna watch.
dude. I may catch scores, right? Like I may watch a couple scores here and there, but honestly, once my dude is out, I could care
I mean,
less
there's
about
some
the rest
other
of these
great
dudes.
play. I mean, I like Donovan Mitchell. Well, you know
I
how
like
I feel
Donovan.
about Trey Young. I mean, yeah, we'll
No,
see. I mean, I like Giannis. I'd like to see Giannis get there.
you know it. Okay, okay. Look, I like. Yes, all right. Let me just say this. I'm not gonna bow out completely, right?
It's
Like
still
honestly,
great. I mean, I was watching Dame last night. I was rooting for Dame. He
I
couldn't
was
pull it
rooting for
out
Dame
though.
hard,
He's
man.
gonna leave, dude. He even tweeted about leaving.
Leaving
Like,
Portland.
yeah, he wrote some rap lyric or something he quoted about like how long do I have to dedicate until you know what I mean? And it's like, yo, man, it's a lost cause for him up there.
Dude, if you were to go to the Lakers, you
Uh,
talk about a third
well, they're
option, like
talking about that guy from the Wizards, right? Or Bradley Beal, I think.
Bradley Beal going to the Lakers.
That's the talk for next season, right?
Oh my goodness, if they get Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, were there upgrades when you trade in Rondo for Dennis Schroeder? They tried to get more offense, and it wasn't like they got rid of the bigger. It was another big one. They got Jeff Green,
Yeah,
or not Jeff Green. What's the guy who hits the
Danny
threes?
Green.
Danny Green. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Green. I mean, I read this whole thing last night about basically, man. I think the Lakers before the season started, when I heard about all the acquisitions, I was like, okay, it sounded like an upgrade, but on paper it looked good. But once
Right.
they got on the court, Wesley Matthews was inconsistent. He never
Mm-hmm.
showed up this whole season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Montrezl Harrell, he was having a hard time finding minutes. They were hoping that he could anchor the
Too
second
many
squad.
centers. Yeah.
And then Mark Gasol, a big who can shoot, but he's too old. He lacks mobility. He can't move, and the game is faster, right? So
And they
he
never
was stuck.
found a third person.
They never found a third. And then Schroeder was too inconsistent. I mean, come on, man. Game 5, the dude put up a goose egg. 0 for 9 from the field. You can't
Yeah.
put up a goose egg in the playoffs, man. That's just not,
And I will say LeBron and AD could have probably done it together.
right.
But yeah, he was hurt. AD was hurt because the games AD played, man, he put up 34 points. They
Yeah.
handled them.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like I really
he was their
they needed
offense.
them. It was the
They
most
needed some
games
offense.
LeBron's ever missed. He missed like 27 games this year.
Yep.
AD's the most he missed. And even without that chemistry, I felt they could have still done it with the two of them. But yeah, with one of them out and with AD out, there's no way.
Well, and think about this too. I mean, they won the championship last year. The season ended October 11th, and
Yeah.
then the new season started December something. So it was
Yeah.
like literally 2 months off. That's not
Yeah.
enough time to be the last team to play, right? Because you
Right.
see what happened to the Heat. The Heat are out in the first round, and then
Yeah,
the
that's
whole
right. That's right.
yeah,
Both the finals guys out the first round.
yeah, and the whole season was marred with injuries. Man, people were pulling hamstrings and tearing and ripping and ACLs. I mean, Jamal Murray tore an ACL. LeBron had his ankle sprain. Uh, AD just had his groin and his knee. So it's just it's too much. It's too much on the bodies, especially at the level they play. So I think was it game 3? whatever game it was where LeBron was joking with Crowder, and then
Yeah,
you had the
Crowder was
pink,
like salsa dancing on him last night.
yeah,
He
where
was
you
on
had
shit.
and you had the big penguin over to the side mimicking him. The problem was they treated that game. They act like they winning that game was like winning the last game in the championship. Like that's when
Right.
you bring out those antics, right? You don't do that in a third game of a series
Oh, that whole
because
trash talk is the reason.
I'm dude.
Anti-trash talking Reg, folks.
Hey,
Clean up your act, kids.
hey, all I'll say is this. You can trash talk all you want to, but Jay Crowder was not doing shit
Well, he
prior
had
to that.
3 threes last night. It had nothing to do with that. 80 was out after that. 80 was out half that one game, and the whole second half, Dave fell apart without him. And
Dude,
then last night he wasn't there.
dude, I'm telling you, it's about confidence. It's like when LeBron was in Miami and game 2 against Dallas at home, they hit a 3 in front of their bench. Everybody's dancing. And then you know what Dallas did? Dallas went into at the half and was like, yo, you see these guys? They're playing. They think they got this thing won. Dallas wins that game and then went on to win the series. And they talk about how that was a catalyst for them.
Well, look, man, I know of the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history and the story of LeBron James here in those cocky Golden State Warriors with their 73 wins, comparing themselves to the Showtime Lakers. And LeBron's like, you know what? They're not winning another one.
Exactly. But hold on. I love that interview. The interview where he says, he's sitting there and he goes, wait, what did Clay say?
Yeah.
No. What did Clay say? And they said that, you know, the trash talking and blah, 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 and that maybe you got your feelings hurt. He goes, okay. And he goes like this. He goes, I got my feelings hurt. Okay. That's it. That was enough. And then what happened? The greatest comeback in NBA history, down 3-1 in the finals, 2016.
Amen.
So that's all I'm saying. All right.
Hey, I totally agree with you, man. All right, Reg. So I want to bring a new I have a new segment for the podcast, bro.
Oh, let's do it. We're supposed to have
brand
cooking
new
with Sal
segment.
too.
Yeah, I know. I'm all over. Nothing consistent, just all over. But all right, I got a new one, dude. This one is called Mama's Memes.
Mama's memes.
You get a big old healthy heaping of Mama's memes, everybody.
Mama's memes. Your mama's memes.
My mama's memes. Now, you know, and I don't want anyone to really think this is me like going Eminem on my mom now, because this is more, I want the liberal folk out there to know, because, you know, my mom's just a 7-year-old white woman who's easily convinced by a con man, but I want people to know what's flooding their inboxes, what's out there, what the propaganda, the lies that are being fed to people.
Okay.
And the fear.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fear-based.
And that's the real thing. And how do we address it? Because, dude, one time we had 60 Democratic senators. Now we basically got 49 because one's from West Virginia and he don't do shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. All right, so this is the meme. So earlier there was something about Memorial Day about how come there's money for illegal immigrants but nothing for our military veterans, you know? And we were just talking about the veterans, and I'm like, you know, instead of blaming another group that it has nothing to do with, I was like, maybe write your congressman and ask how come we spend almost $1 trillion a year on the military, more than anything else in this country. Like healthcare is like 20%. This is like a biggest chunk of the pie. And then, you know, talk to them about taking care of their veterans, you know?
Yeah. And if I like to add to that, talk to them about taking care of the veterans, taking some of that $1 trillion budget. Hey man, you cannot buy a couple jets, right? You don't need all the jets. We don't need all the bombs. It's like, allocate some of those funds for our veterans, right? It's really simple. It's like, yo,
that's it.
One less F-16, one less M16, one less Hummer, one less. We got tons of them. Put that money toward the veterans, VA. Okay. All right.
I love it, Reg. You know, I love it so much, Reg. I would even run as your VP, bro. That's how I would do it. I would, as long as we could get the work done like that, I don't have no problem with that.
Well, hey, look, I think I appreciate that, but I think you should be president. I think you'd be
Well,
good,
look,
and I could
Reg,
be your
we
vice
all
president.
know in the history of America, a black man became president before an Italian. All right. So I don't know if I have a chance.
Yeah, but you could always pass for just white.
Not with this name. Not with his name.
Yeah, that is true.
I have to
Salvatore.
change it. That drips. That
See,
drips Italian
I don't
pasta.
know, man. You're right. It does. It could be risky though, because
Drips olive oil.
if I'm the president and there's never been an Italian president, then who's to say the mob won't
Oh
clip the
yeah.
president
Oh,
so
like
that the
that
D
Chris Rock bit. Yeah.
exactly,
He was
exactly.
like, I'd love to get president. Just to have the first black president. He's like, what, are you gonna put me in jail?
Yeah,
People think I'm a hero for the rest of my life.
exactly.
Ah, so good. So
So
good.
good.
All right. So
Um,
here's the meme that set it all off. And I can't, this shit just drives me crazy, man. I can't, I feel like it's hateful and it's ignorance and it's anger. Can you see it?
hold up. First they misspelled Muslim, a
Yeah, okay. So
Muslim.
so now I know this is so I know I should it's a podcast, so I guess I should explain it to the people who aren't watching, but it's basically a
Wait, your mom
picture.
posted this?
Yeah,
This
dude,
is
it's crazy, right?
oh,
So it's a picture of the Twin Towers, and one of the planes, the second plane's about to hit the tower. And then there's a picture of, let me get their names right. Of course, the two only Muslim women in Congress, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. All right. And their picture's just floating there next to next to one of the towers with the Democratic donkey. And then it says, every time a Muslim, spelled incorrectly, stands up in Congress and tells us they will change the Constitution, impeach our president, or vote for socialism, remember, you said you would never forget. They said they would destroy us from within.
oh my god, dude, this propaganda. This is terrible.
This is horrible, right? And
This is
I
terrible. This is
saw
horrible.
this and I was like, yo, you can't. I was like, this is xenophobic, racist crap. You can't post this, And then this lady, one of her friends, chimes in. Well, it's not this. I was like, these two had nothing to do with 9/11. You can't blame these two for a terrorist attack, one of the worst in history. And someone's like, well, what they do in speech and stuff is almost just as bad. I was like, really? 3,000 people died in the worst terrorist attack is just as bad. It's just, yeah, man, it's sad. Oh, and
You can't hold all Muslims responsible for the actions of a handful of Muslims, right?
right, right,
Like you can't hold all black people responsible for the actions of of some black people. Like you can't do that with white people, you can't do that with Asians, Latin, whoever else. Just because someone of a certain religion or race or whatever the case may be does something doesn't mean that they all do that,
right,
right?
right,
Right? It's just
right.
this is
And
man,
what's
this is
gross
scary.
about it is like impeach our president. Like you can't impeach him. Like we saw him commit insurrection on our TVs, and
Exactly.
35 Republicans in the House voted to impeach him that day too. So
Right.
don't tell us this bullshit. And then the socialism, it's all fear. They're trying to get the fear. And yeah, dude,
You know,
I got totally into it over this. It drove me crazy.
oh, dude, this is wild. You know what's funny about they love the word socialism. They love to throw that like that's become a buzzword,
Yeah,
socialism. You know
yeah.
what's funny about that is that if you ask them what socialism was, I bet they couldn't tell you.
No way.
They couldn't tell you. They just
No
know that
way.
they've heard the talking heads, like the people that they listen to, say, taking our money to take care of other people, it's socialism. We don't like that. And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Dude, that's scary,
All right.
man. I
So
didn't
here now it continues. Here's another. And this, of course, is our buddy out there, Donald Trump, complaining as he do. Uh, and the funny thing is the line above it says, "This is absolutely what is happening, folks." Already, like, okay.
okay.
And then it's a quote from Trump, which I believe was happening when the second impeachment was going on, where he said, "As I learn more and more each day, I'm coming to the conclusion that what is taking place is not impeachment. It is a coup intended to take away the power of the people, their vote, their freedoms, their Second Amendment, religion, military, border wall, God-given rights, citizen, U.S., America, blah, blah, blah." And then at the very end of it, under the quote, it says, "Say true if you are praying for Mr. President and for America."
Oh my
So
God.
already they're trying to like it's for the so it's somehow this religious thing, and like if you're on God's side, you gotta love this guy, and and he's not being impeached. It's a coup, even though
It's a
we saw
coup.
what happened, and then he got caught. talking to you, trying to get dirt on Biden in Ukraine, and he got impeached. Only president ever get impeached twice in 4 years.
Deservedly so, and he should have been convicted both times.
Right.
Totally. Dude, it's the Republicans' fault, man. They fell for this dude, hook, line, and sinker. He's got to be the biggest con artist ever. I mean, he's a manipulator. This is ridiculous, man. I don't see this stuff because, obviously I'm not in that algorithm as far as like sending stuff like this. But
I mean, and this is the thing. This is why 70 million people, this ain't just my mom, it's 70 million people, dude.
Man, this is scary, dude.
Yeah, this is what's really out there. All right. And then so that I couldn't well, this one's just kind of funny to me. I couldn't stand this picture that she put up of this guy. I'm just like, what is this, dude? Are you
Oh my God. Dude,
it's just Trump there rolling up his sleeves with the flag in the background, looking like a painting.
Are you serious? Dude, this looks like some German Nazi propaganda.
Right?
This is literally World War II. Like, this is World War II propaganda, World War I, World War II propaganda, where, I mean, look at that picture of him. Put it back up real quick.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
This dude is, how old is he? 70, 72?
75, I think, 74.
Oh, he's 74. Look at him. Look at the forearms, right? Look how they got him looking. They have him
looking, right? He's like the fattest president we've had since Taft, by the way. He's out of shape. He eats McDonald's and Cokes all day.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's physically the worst president ever. But what's funny is that this picture he has a 35-year-old's body, but then they at least they kept the wrinkles in the neck. Right? And they polished
dude almost died because he didn't believe in COVID,
vegetables,
and in science. And they had luckily he had a helicopter that could take him to the fucking hospital in 11 minutes.
Dude, this is real, man. That's scary.
But
dude.
So this is what this is kind of funny.
Yeah, that's some propaganda, man. That's some World War II propaganda right there.
Yeah, so
actually, that's 2021 propaganda.
That's what's out there, man. And of course I had to put this was what I had to put up. Let me
you put up a real picture of him? Please tell me you put up
on the meme of that. No, I just put this up under
okay.
A little meme of the loser. Oh, man.
Lehu Sahar. Yo, you should put up a real picture of his I don't want to say fat, but we just say his counter to that picture. I'll just say that. You should have put a picture of his fat ass. His fat out of shape. He's shaped like a woman. He got hips like a woman. The dude has hips. I feel bad for any man. Listen, any guy out there who has hips. Look, man, I'm not talking about you, but I do feel for any man that has hips because it just don't even seem. I just feel bad for dudes. The dude has hips. The dude got hips, man.
All right,
he got them childbearing hips.
I couldn't take the Muslim thing, and my mom eventually took that one down, which is nice. And then, but then, like I was like, I try to move on. You see that I'm like, I saw this like a religious one, like this whole prayer thing she put, like this Jesus thing. I don't know. And I was gonna let it go, but then I saw the Trump things, right? All that propaganda. I'm like, all right, enough of this. And I commented, and I was like, how can you, I was like, how can you post anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim stuff and then put, all this, the Jesus stuff? I'm like, what would Jesus do? And that's basically all I said. Right. And then cousin Angie had to come back into the picture, bro. Oh, cousin Angie, dude.
Cousin Angie
telling me how I disrespecting my mom and embarrassment. And I'm like, all right, first off, I'm embarrassed that nobody else in my family says anything. They just sit there and let it sit. She's like, you don't have to comment. You could just keep scrolling. That's the equivalent to shut up and dribble. All right. Yes. I'm not going to say, I'm going to just let them post hateful ignorance. Like her mom, I had to block way off because I was like, maybe if you would have put your mom in check, I wouldn't have to see all her right-wing wackiness.
Right.
So I'm like, you don't. And so everyone's writing their amens after the religious thing. Not one of them said a goddamn thing about the Muslim thing. They just let that propaganda sit there. That hate. Right. And I don't like, hey, some people might be all right to have that hate in their immediate family. Nah, I ain't dealing with that shit. I'm too old for that shit. Grow
Good for you.
Up. It's 2021, good for you, Sal. Son.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you said something. I'm glad you said something.
So then cousin Angie, go ahead.
Well, what I was gonna say is because there's a quote by, I think it's Martin Luther King who says it, and I could be wrong, but if you don't condemn something, you condone it, right?
Yes, that's what I
Your
said. I said
silence,
silence is complicit.
yes, your silence is complicit. So good for you for calling them on it.
I mean, it just drives me crazy. So then I was like, it's said something. I'm disgusted because what I said, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, what's really disgusting is comparing Black Lives Matter to the KKK, and
Oh,
then
it's
she's like,
her.
oh yeah, that was her. So then here's that meme. So I went and found that meme because no, I'm not racist, blah blah blah. I just don't like hate groups.
I
So here's
support.
the meme. It's a black hand and white hand shaking. It says, I support my black friends, but not BLM. I support my white friends, but not KKK. I don't support hate groups.
Oh my
And now she
God.
thinks there's nothing wrong with that right there. And I don't compare them. They're not, obviously, they're not the same. You compare them right there. They shouldn't be in the same fucking sentence at all. Black Lives Matter is not a hate group. Okay. It's
Exactly.
comparing it. That's comparing it to the KKK.
Yeah. And hold up. I support my black friends.
Yeah. What black friends you got who do not?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, who are these black friends you have? And let's talk to them about how they feel about you talking about, I support my white friends, but I don't support the KKK. Like, what the fuck? Black BLM and the KKK are not the same thing. Yo, this is crazy, man. This shit is out there though. The
That's what
Republicans,
I want people to know.
the Republicans are really good at just using their words and their slogans and the ideas they come up with, because they come up with shit sometimes that if you didn't look at the fine print, you would actually think it may be something good. Like, they'll have
Exactly.
the family, it'll be like the Family Patriot Act. You go, all right,
Yeah.
like, oh, family is good, and what's wrong with patriotism? And then you get there and it's like nobody else is allowed except for white people. And you go, what the fuck? Right? Like they have the what is it, like the congressional freedom, the Congressional Freedom Act or something. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like they
right.
come up with these things that on the surface they sound legitimate, like they sound like they would be good, and then you look at them and you go, holy cow, this shit is so vile, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just it's demeaning, it's degrading, it creates segregation, discrimination. Like, dude, it's crazy, man. They're next level with this shit, man. I
And
swear to
then
God.
what annoys me too is like and my cousin doesn't think she's anything wrong. Oh, yeah, I have racist. I'm racist. All my friends. Do you even listen to yourself? And instead of going, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why is this offensive? And
Mhm.
asking and trying to improve, you're like, no, that's not me. That's not me. And it pisses me off. Like they just think racism isn't just the fucking wearing a white hood and Mississippi burning or whatever the hell. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean? And that's
right.
it's just like, and nobody wants to improve. Nobody wants to be better. They want to stay closed minded, ignorant, and I can't stand it.
Dude,
Hypocrites.
it sounds to me like, and I hate to say this, but it sounds to me like they lack some critical thinking skills. And let's just be honest, some education. Like I know there are people who tend to try to like educate themselves. Like, I don't need to go to school, I just educate myself. Well, the problem with that is that in education, it's not that you're just learning stuff out of the book, but you're learning from people who've studied the history of things, and so they can teach you the comparison so you can understand how things work and how people use things to manipulate you, like to think outside of or think further or past what you're seeing. So
Right.
you may be arguing with people who just lack the capacity, like seriously, right? Like who lack the capacity to even see because they don't even know,
Right.
right? They don't
Right.
know. They can't see it because they don't know that it's even wrong. They don't have the critical thinking skills to think outside of what's presented to them.
Right. Right. And you're right. If you're only like if you don't go outside and learn in other places, you're only tunnel vision. You're only given
Yes.
what you served the whole time.
Right.
And it's hard to ever open up. So yeah, I don't know, man. I can't sit there and be quiet about this kind of shit because that pisses me off, man.
Yeah, no doubt,
So
man.
I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. And then, but I was like, hey, as long as that's the ignorant stuff, I'm going to comment on it because I can't let that shit slide, dude.
That's good, man. Keep going. I say keep going. If it helps, like personally, no, I'm not even gonna say that. You know, I have a hard time with that. I admire your ability to keep going. I personally will. I'll interject every once in a while. I'll say my piece and what it is for me, and then I get out because it's literally like a dog chasing his tail.
Well,
right?
that's the thing. Like I've blocked like all my cousins. I'm done with that. I don't need that ignorance in my life. They add nothing to it. Like you're not, you know what I mean? Your
Right.
backwards way of thinking is not gonna. I don't need that. You're just drama, in my opinion. That white trash mentality is what I call it. See, they
Exactly.
hate that too. Like you ever call them racist or white trash? They hate that because
WTM.
I'm a good person. I'm not racist, even though BLM, KKK, and then white trash. No, 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 they're below me. Everyone's got to be above someone. Someone's always got to
Right, right,
blame someone else.
right.
Like what the fuck, dude? It's so
Oh, dude,
stupid.
that's it, man. That's the hierarchy. People
But
love that.
my
Some
mom's my
status.
mom. Yeah, so my mom I'll still be cool with, and but dude, I wish she would be willing to learn why
Right,
and
right.
improve. And I explain why stuff's wrong and shit. And like my, she, when Trump wanted to take my health care, dude, Obamacare, most independent contractors, comedy or whatever the hell you do, are gonna have to
Hmm.
use something like that. And so they're trying to get rid of it. I got John McCain saving it. And my mom, my family think it's my fault because I don't have a real job with a different kind of healthcare. You know what I mean? So it's better you're supporting the guy who wants to take my health. It's just like it just makes no sense. And I don't know. They conned them all, man.
They do. They've kind them all. I'm gonna tell you right now, with my real job, you know how much money they pay a month for my medical benefits?
Right, right.
Almost, it's like it's close to $1,900 a month for my medical benefits, right? That's that's a hell of a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. Like our healthcare should not cost that much, but our healthcare costs that much because we'd much rather have people drinking fucking 2 liters of Mountain Dews and eating McDonald's every day than like teaching people how to eat properly and to take care of themselves so that they don't get sick. Or give people basic health care so they can go see primary care physicians instead of going to the friggin' ER all the time, right?
Mm.
Like enable people to be able to live better, to have a better quality of life, and to get regular, basic care, which prevents, harsher long-term situations, right? Because they catch it
Right.
early. It's like all that money, dude. And what's funny about that? Every year, so my medical right now is close to $1,900, and every year they send me a thing saying, we did a reevaluation of this and the costs and expenses, and so now we have to raise it another $75. So I'm like, so at some point is my medical going to be $2,500 a month? It's going to be a mortgage payment,
Yeah.
$3,000 a month for healthcare, right?
That's the
And
thing too. Like they got to cut out the profit these companies make. It shouldn't be like this. You know what I
it shouldn't
mean?
be like this. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And all the bullshit they try and scare you about medicine, being universal healthcare, all the other countries, it's fine. And all the times I've done Canada, I bring it up every time. Conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. Canadians are like, yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's great. It's like I get sick and I make an
It's
appointment, I go
free.
see
Yeah, it's
somebody.
all covered. Yeah, it's what I mean. It's
Yeah,
absurd, dude. This is
it's
it.
absurd.
So let
I
me know
mean,
when we're running, Reg. Steel Kalani. There we go.
oh, I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's do it.
And that sounds that can't work, dude. It sounds like we go around stealing shit.
Well, and plus, hey man, let's just be honest, man. Politics. Hey, I thought about it for a while because I actually looked at getting my master's in
Yeah.
public administration, right? And I was thinking, oh, that'd be kind of cool. And then I started thinking, in politics, man, they start digging into your life and
Oh, it's
bringing up
stress, bro. It's
yeah, it's
stress.
like they look in your closet and they're like, oh, what happened in 1989? 89, it looks like somebody went to a party without telling their mom. Like, so now I gotta apologize for some shit I did, 20 years ago. I apologize that I'm sorry that I did not get my mother's permission before leaving the house as a teenager to go to a party. Uh, please forgive me. Right? Like, got it. And plus, politicians, the game of politics, man. I feel like as I get older and I watch it and I see how it goes, it's hard to get anything accomplished, right? Because
Oh, it's so
everyone has
bad,
it's
especially
so
now.
bad. Yeah, especially now. Everyone's divided. There's no common ground. There's no decency,
Yeah,
right?
they
Like
couldn't even agree on a bipartisan commission to look into January 6th.
exactly. And
It's so
that
stupid.
doesn't make any sense. Like for anybody who votes against that, it's like, did you watch the video? Did you see people storming the Capitol? Did you see people in the hallways bringing a Confederate flag in, going into people's offices, breaking into their desks, taking stuff, trying to sell things to different countries potentially, right? Like, did you not see that happen? Did you not hear about the bombs they found in vans parked, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, dude, but the fact that there are people who are like, well, it's going to make us look bad. So no, it's politics is, it's ridiculous, man. Like, it's almost a joke. I look at it like, oh, is this real? Like, it's almost like theater, right? Like, remember back
It's
in the day,
totally, yeah.
remember back in the
Total.
day with the Romans, they used to wear the wigs, and it was all they used to dress up in costumes to do politics because it was theater. It's fucking theater, man.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally, dude. I mean, yeah, especially now when you got reality stars running it, and trying to, it's absurd. All
Oh
right, Ren.
well.
So what else we got talking about
Well,
today?
let's talk about this real quick. The fact that talk about reality stars running the country. That former president of ours, which is hard to say because it almost seems like it was a joke. He just got banned from Facebook for 2 years. So,
Yeah.
which is hilarious to me because I'm like, there are accounts on Facebook that aren't even real. Like, there are people that right? Like, it's not even a person, right? It's not even a real person. They got an account, but the former president of the United States can't have an account.
Yeah, because he spreads too many lies that it's dangerous to the country because people are gullible.
Exactly.
I had a good we had a show last night, bro.
Oh yeah,
it was good. It was good. It was a good crowd. Well, crowd was light, but they were good and attentive, and which is, hey, fine. You're gonna pay attention and laugh. I'm cool with that. But I had a good Capitol riot joke. You just made me think of it, where I was like, that did pretty well. I was like, anyone else watching the Capitol riots catch themselves scanning the crowd for their family members? I was like, is that cousin Charlie? What the hell is he doing with that podium?
That's funny. Is that cousin Larry with the buffalo head?
Yeah.
Like,
why is he wearing Nancy Pelosi's bra? What is he doing?
What is he doing? That's funny. Mentioning that Donald Trump got banned from Facebook and then accounts that aren't real made me think about catfishing. Right? Have you ever been catfished?
No, but I saw that movie Catfish. It's really trippy. It's like where somebody pretends to be somebody else.
Right.
And try and get all your information. You never saw the movie Catfish?
No.
It's like a documentary. I'm not sure where it was like 10 or 8 years ago. When it first came out, I think it inspired the TV show on MTV, but it was great. This guy and this girl was saying she was this young girl and this and that, or she had a daughter, and the whole time it was just this lady, this middle-aged lady who wasn't as happy in her marriage, and she started like created a person to attract this young kid. It was weird.
What? How old was the kid? How old was
he? He was college. He was like
college.
22, and he was like, I mean, I give the dude props. He like grabbed his camera and went into it, and he had no idea what to expect. Didn't know it should be dangerous, and he finally kind of broke it down. She didn't admit much on camera, but he, he almost felt bad for her at the end. Is really what it is.
Really. I got a friend who got catfished. Well, hold on. Let me just say this too before I get into that. I feel like the people who end up getting catfished, like there's some void. There's something they're trying to find, right? And they want to believe things are real to some degree because they're looking for some connection, some relationship. Because when I hear these stories, like on the outside, when I hear about them, I go, yo, that sounds suspicious. That sounds shady.
Right. Yeah, right.
Right. Like you can see the tone, right? The pictures, like things just seem off.
Right.
So I feel like either someone who's naive or someone who's looking for something, and just like if there's a need, then someone's gonna try to fill that void, right? Fill that need.
Right. The honey badger from the Chargers, he got catfished. He was like a defensive guy coming out of college into the
Okay, he got catfished. But see, that means he probably spent all his time trying to become a phenomenal football player and then just missed out on some social, because you know what I mean, like some social learning stuff. Like, remember the guy who came out of Notre Dame, the island dude, I forget his name. Remember, he got catfished big time. Like, really? He had some girlfriend in like Southeast Asia that he had never seen in real life, but they've been together for 2 years or some shit, right? But I have a friend got catfished when he was young. Now, his background was he was kind of raised by a very strict family. So he didn't have a lot of freedom to learn things like the rest of us, right? Like a part of learning is just being out and about and seeing things happen, and you go, okay, well, that's messed up, I'm not gonna let that happen, or that's cool, I can do that. So being very sheltered and having a very strict upbringing, all of a sudden, you know, the internet's going crazy with chat rooms and locations and Facebook and MySpace and other places to meet people, and you know, their accounts, and people got pictures up and all this kind of stuff. And he met this girl, and you know, they've been chatting for a while, and now it's time to meet. And this dude hopped in his car, drove, I think roughly about an hour and 20 minutes to this location at night to meet this woman. And he said, he told me the story. I was like, the fact that you're telling me this story, like, I give you props, because if this was me, that I would just take that shit to the grave, right? Like,
but they shared. I got a podcast to put it on.
I was like, he said he put up to this like kind of like a little bit of like a projects, right? Like a low income housing area. It was dark, low lighting, and he got to the spot, and the person came up and got into the car, right? Because he was thinking, oh, it's about to go down. We've been talking about what we want to do and all this kind of stuff. And he said when they got in, he was like wait, hold up. He said, man, he said the person got in his car, didn't look anything like the pictures, because it wasn't that person. And the woman that was supposed to get in his car was a dude in a wig. Like, just imagine me getting in a car with a wig on, like, hey. he was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
So what did he do? He's just like, no, thanks.
Yeah, he's like, nah, this is not what I signed up for. And so they got out the car. Like, it turned out to be okay, because you know, in some situations, like, that can be dangerous, right?
Hell yeah.
Right? That could be super dangerous if the person gets in your car and then the person who got catfished finds out that you're a dude, and
they're all homophobic,
and they're homophobic, it could be bad. So he was just like, yo, man, like, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah, I'm sorry, like, I'm good. And the person was like, well, you know, maybe. He's like, and they got out, and he went home, and he was like, I want to say he got home and threw away his computer. Just like, he cut off everything. He threw away his computer, his phone. He threw away all that shit. He was like, and then he
reminds me. Oh, I was gonna say, it reminds me of Friday, where that girl shows up. He's like, Janet Jackson looking more like Freddie Jackson. Oh, your wig flies off.
Exactly. I'd be hard pressed to get catfish, yo. You gotta be a bad.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, an hour and a half I gotta drive. You gotta meet me in public, dude.
You gotta meet me in public during the daytime. I'm like, I'm not gonna come over there so I can see you in the club lighting. I'm like, everybody look good in the club. It's not until you get outside that you go, oh man, I'm tripping, man. That club lighting is something else. They look at you the same
I'll
way.
call you, but don't ever come here. Don't ever come around here.
Don't call me. I'm gonna call you, but don't ever come around here. Oh man, you know, she passed away. That comedian, that actress. She was on.
That was an actress who played the girl.
Yeah, she was a comedian that showed up.
I did not know that.
Yeah, everybody in that movie was comedians for the most part. She was a comedian. She used to be on that show. She was on that show, Monique show.
Okay, yeah.
She was like the barkeep.
Or no, not Monique. Monique's own show. You're right.
Monique's own show. Because remember, Moesha had a show. Brandy had a show, and then her best friend was a little short one, and then the little short one got her own show with Monique, where Monique was like her mom, and then she was a comedian, or she was an actress in that show as like the person who ran the store or something. But she does
Monique was in Precious, right?
Yes.
She was great in that, man.
I don't even think she was amazing. Acting. I never saw Precious.
Dude.
Oh, I did see it.
I think comics are some of the best dramatic actors ever. Like Robin Williams was amazing.
Absolutely.
Dude. And even like something like that, like Monique you don't know her much for acting at all. And then she gives like an Oscar-worthy performance. It's amazing.
I mean, think about it, dude. As comedians, all this laughter comes from having dealt with pain. Right. So it's easy to type into the pain. Like, I mean, for me, you know me, I can get mad at the drop of a hat, or I can get emotional at the drop of a hat, right? Because there's that pain, like that, whatever it is that's still there, lingering under the surface. So, comedians, you know, everyone wants them to be funny, but all that laughter is just covering up what hurts.
Oh man.
So how did
Reggie? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how did Grant do last night?
Grant did well, dude. He so we had it was some other comics, like Jason Downs was there, and it was kind of funny. I was telling him, like, you see all these guys I haven't seen since like the Punchline and stuff, and you remember like their mannerisms and stuff performing, and that made you like laugh and like it. You know what I mean? It's just good about seeing old friends, really. Oh, there was a weird part where it was Gary Anderson, Jason Downs, and Bert DeVitri all sitting there talking about their kids.
Oh wow.
Gary Anderson has a kid. He just had a baby. He's talking about it last night on stage. He just showed up, and I was like, "Oh, you want to do set, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right." And he just had a baby, like a year old, and then it is just funny. Oh, my kid's in judo, and my kid does that. How much is that? Oh, that's not bad. I was like, it's way different than 10 years ago.
Oh man, it's way different. I mean, like you know me, I got my son, so I'm like baseball practice. I'm sitting there talking to other parents about what the kid does, and you know what school. Like, it's funny, man. My kid, you know, he plays baseball, so I go to baseball practice, and I live in Oakland, right? But my son goes to school in Berkeley. But all these kids in this North Oakland Little League, apparently they all kind of go to similar schools or live in the same area. Because the first day I showed up, it's always like, "Hey, so what school did your kid go to?" Right? Like and I'm like, "Berkeley Rose." They're like, "Oh, you live in Berkeley?" Like, "No, I live in Oakland." And then you get people who kind of look at you like, "Oh, you one of those people. What, Oakland schools aren't good enough for you?"
I hate coming to our schools.
Yeah, exactly. Oakland schools aren't good enough for you. No, motherfucker, they not. Okay. I'm like, there are a couple good ones here and there, but you know, it's like
it's so silly. It's just one town apart. They're so close anyway.
They're so close, but yeah, man, it's you get into different conversations when you have a kid. All of a sudden, it's kid stuff. So, that's cool, man.
I had a question for you, Reggie. I had a good story you can maybe wrap us up with.
Okay.
Because you mentioned this and then you never got into it. And because I was telling you about the time I got the ponytail in front of the old man and that drama. But you talking about you got an earring, which I never had the cojones to do in front of my parents. I mean, hair was as far as it went. But and you say your mom wasn't too happy about it. Oh, you still got it. That's the same one, huh?
Well, no, this is a different one.
Different earring, but the same piercing or no?
Yep. Is that piercing?
Same hole.
Same hole. I only got the one. I only have. That's
you did the left, only the left. Did you hear? When I was a kid, I heard if you got the right one, it meant you were gay, but if you got the left one, you were straight.
Well, yeah, that's what I heard too. If you only got one, right?
It had to be the left.
Yeah, it had to be the left. If you got one and you got the right, that's like, you know how like in prison, like sagging your jeans, that comes from prison, like with your ass out showing your underwear. What in prison, sagging was code for saying that you were available.
Oh wow!
Right. So
I thought it was just because they took your belt so you didn't kill yourself.
No, that's not it. I mean, I'm sure they sagged because it, like, maybe that led to it.
So that's what all those guys, when they're sagging down the street, should I let them know that that's where it came from? I mean, well, the origin, what you're doing?
Well, see, it's been reappropriated, like the N-word, right? Like the N-word at one point was, you know, like if you heard that, usually somebody was dying, and now you hear little white kids calling each other in the suburbs. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
White, Asian, everything.
Black, white, Asian, whatever
Black,
you want.
Latin, yeah.
So what happened was there was a stretch where Black men were incarcerated, and in prison, that was a signal to let you know, to let other inmates know that you were available in a sexual way. So when they got out, they brought that stuff back to the streets, and then it just got reappropriated. And now young kids walk around here sagging, don't even know that started off with meaning that you was giving the ass up. You was giving up the booty.
Right? What's the earring then?
So that's what I'm saying, is that the earring was like a code. At least that's the way I understood and learned, that if you got one, if you straight, you get it on your left. And if you got one and you got it on your right, then that was like basically sending out a signal or a message saying, yo, I'm available to men, right? Now, if you got two was cool. Two was
And that was
cool.
the thing. Like, so let me ask you this. If you got two and you're taking out the left one, are you worried that someone will see real quick? You got to hurry up and get to the right one, or do you always take the right one out first? Or if you're straight, or if the opposite, are you like, I don't want anyone to know I'm straight? Like, I don't. That's silly, dude. It's so dumb. And is this where'd this come from? This isn't from prison. Where did this come from?
I don't know. I think that just came from wherever. We can look it up and see, but no, believe me.
That's funny though. We both know about that, and one's
absolutely.
Ohio and one's Alabama, but we both know about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thing.
So what happened was my freshman year in college, man, I get out to San Jose and I'm walking through the mall, and I got a girlfriend at the time, and we're all doing the kid thing, walking through the mall, and I was kind of like, I kind of want to get an earring, and she was like, you should get it, and I was like, nah, I don't know. And then I had a moment where I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm in California. I'm by myself. I'm taking care of myself. I can make decisions on my own, right? Because I couldn't do it just because I wanted to. Like, that wasn't going to be enough, right? Just to want something. It's like, for me, it had to have a reason. So my reasoning was, this is me saying that I am old enough to make my own decisions and I can live with the consequences of my actions, right? So I get my earring, go in there, right?
Now, wait a minute. The girl didn't inspire. Did she have a lot to do with your decision?
No, she didn't have a lot to do with it. She just thought that I would be cute. She did say that. She's like, no, I think you'd be cute. You should get it. I think you'd be cute. And I was like,
I knew a girl once who wanted me to pierce my left nipple, but that didn't happen. All right, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, dude, that hurt. Like, the idea of that hurts so much. Right?
And then
like,
then you gotta clean it and take it out. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, damn that. Yeah, damn that. No. So what happened is, I do this in California. I go back to visit my mom. Right, I walk in the house, and my mom's like, "Hey, what's that?" And she flicks my ear. She's like, "What's this?" She flicks my ear. She's like, "What's this? What's this?" She goes, "You're a girl? You're a girl now? Is that what you're doing? You're a girl now?" I was like, "Nah, Mom." Like, I'm like, "No, Mother. This is my way of saying that I can make decisions for myself." Right? I'm like, I'm grown now. Can I borrow $10? Because I ain't got no job yet, right? And so she was just like, I'm not gonna say she didn't like it. She didn't necessarily like it, but I don't think she disliked it. It was just kind of one of those things where she was just like, okay, if that's what you want to do. You want to have an earring? I mean, girls have earrings. Boys don't have earrings. If you
didn't think about that before you walked into the house? Was there a moment where you're like, I'm gonna catch shit?
I didn't care. Like, honestly,
right.
No, I didn't care, because I had these moments, man, growing up where I don't know how else to put it, but I had these moments where I was like, yo, this is it, right? Like, I mean, you can stop loving me, but it's not gonna change it, because I gotta do it, right? Like I gotta be able to make these decisions. Like, I don't know where that came from, but there was this thing, because there are plenty of other times when my mom got on me and she was like, how come you won't get your master's? You should go get your master's. Go get your master's. And I was like, Mom, I gotta pay for this. I'm like, I didn't pay for undergrad. I had a scholarship. I go, so if I get it, then I have to get it in something that I want to do. Like, my mom she was old school in the sense of, like, she just thought, just go get it. Right? Just go get it, and just to have it. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna go into debt, especially at this point when I understand how debt works and money works. Where I'm like, I'm not gonna go take out a bunch of loans to get a master's in something that I potentially don't want to do.
Right.
Just because
then you're in debt. Yeah.
And then I'm in debt because you want me to do this. Like, for her, it was more of a status thing. And I'm not afraid to say that, because she was old school in the sense of, like, she wanted to be able to say, well, Reggie got his master's. Yeah. So because it really reflected back on her. If I did anything phenomenal, then, it came back to her. Reggie got his master's. Ooh, Sibby, Reggie you raised a good boy. He done went out there and did that and got his master's. Mm-hmm, he sure did. it wasn't about whether or not I was happy with what I got or what I did. It was about her being able to brag and say that I did a thing. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. That made me think of I got my masters. What are you, my master now? Huh? I can count too. 1, 2, 3. Count these rocks, biatch.
Yeah, exactly. He said, "Oh, he said you got your masters? Or you got your masters? Well, how about this? Can you kick my ass?"
Oh, it's so classic
Chris Rock.
lines, man.
Chris
Those
Rock.
lines.
Dude, Chris Rock is like the best. I can pull a quote from Chris Rock for almost every aspect of life. Jobs, society, the government,
I mean, Bring the
relationships.
Pain has got to be the number one, right?
Oh, Bring the Pain. You know what I saw first though? I saw Bigger and Blacker live at the Paramount in Oakland.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw, and that was before I saw Bring the Pain. So for me, Bigger and Blacker, I was like,
really, it's funny. I saw Bring the Pain first, and that was my.
See, Bring the Pain.
Now, Bigger and Blacker is just on the same level. Those are the two, though. I feel.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And to me, it's like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, same level, but either
same
one.
level.
But
well,
yeah,
I'll say, but seeing Bigger and Blacker first, right? Because he was more refined, he was tighter. He even did jokes at the live show that I've never seen on any of the videos. Like he had this one joke where he was like, he said, how did he say it? He said, I forget what he was talking about in comparing it, but he said, you know, there's just some things. He's like, there's just some things you got to let go. Like maybe somebody in relationships. He's like, there's just some things you got to let go. Like that's like trying to play basketball with a disabled kid and calling for double dribble. Right?
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, okay.
I remember that.
Yeah, trying to play basketball with a disabled kid and calling for double dribble. If you want to play, there's just some things you got to let go, right? And there was another one too that I can't remember, but I saw that one first, and then I saw Bring the Pain, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Because Bigger and Blacker was so good, but then you get to Bring the Pain, and it's just like it just blew up.
Good. It was gang, so good.
It was gang.
Did you ever see Big Ass Jokes, his half hour right before Bring the Pain?
Yes, and it was on the Bring the Pain DVD.
Yeah, or no, it was on it's on the Never Scared one, his third one.
Oh, is it on that one?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I have the DVD, or I did. Okay. I don't remember.
I have all those DVDs.
It reminded me a lot. It's like a prequel to Bring the Pain almost. And even there's a few jokes that are almost, you could see where they become Bring the Pain jokes.
Right. Yeah. Big Ass Jokes was good. But you know, obviously Bring the Pain is just, that's
so
it.
Good.
So
good. You're speaking of the Paramount. I paid $50 to see a rapist at the Paramount, and
to see a rapist.
Yeah, his name is Bill Cosby. He killed. It was amazing. It was a real. You know what? It was a really good show, and I mean, he killed. And then I saw him a second time.
Okay.
And our friend Molly Schmink of the Punchline invited me to go see. He was recording his special 77 for Netflix. So we went, and we were sitting there, and I remember he's definitely older, right? And he seemed a little older. It wasn't like the Paramount. I saw him 5-10 years, or probably 5 years earlier. And then I remember at the end, like, where he talks to some friends. He mentions friends in the crowd, and we're sitting right next to him. And I'm like, oh shit, maybe I'll be in this Netflix special. You know what I mean? Like, hey. And then literally, dude, like a month later, all the shit hit the fan, and they're like, there's this episode. It was recorded. It will never be released. And I remember I met this comic at this club, and he was a big Bill Cosby fan. And I told him I was at the recording of 77. He's like, what? Really, dude? He was really bummed because he was a hero of his, and then it all came crashing down.
Oh, absolutely.
But, yeah, dude. But I definitely, like, you could tell he seemed a little like he was just getting older, and I didn't even feel like he was all there in the second time I saw him.
I saw him twice too. I saw him at the Paramount in Oakland, and then I saw him.
Did we see him at the same show? I think we saw him the same run. I don't know if it was the same show.
Yeah, I think it's the same run. Because I also saw him.
Jason Downs was there when I saw him at the Paramount.
Oh, okay. I saw him at the Paramount, and I saw him at the San Francisco Orpheum. But I was gonna say both times he was sharp. He was on it, and it was just it was funny. And at the end, you know, he'd take requests. He was like, You know,
Yes.
yeah, everyone wants to hear. They love the dentist.
The
So he would
dentist. He
do the
closed with the dentist at the
yep.
Paramount.
Yep, he closed with that one. You know who else I saw? I saw Jamie Foxx live. Um, and I had a hard time with Jamie Foxx's set at that time because it was super similar. Like he had a lot of there were a lot of jokes that are very similar to Richard Pryor jokes. Now, most people, the people in the audiences who are not comedy fans or historians, they have no clue, right?
Right.
But I'm like, having watched all of Richard Pryor stuff or as much as I could, I was sitting there watching. I was like, yo, and look, the thing is, no premise has never been done, right?
Right.
I mean, like there's not a premise that hasn't been done. Everyone is, you know, we all talk about the same things, but we just have different stories or different takes on it. My issue was that some of his jokes, they were kind of like in step with Richard Pryor jokes, just, you know, just a thing, a switch here, a switch there, but pretty much almost the same joke. But I could get past that. I was like, all right, whatever. And it was called the special was called I Might Need Security. But what messed me up, and I did not like this, and I thought this was wrong, was at the end of his show, he was like, yo, I hear Oakland got talent. Everyone says Oakland is full of talent. People are like, yeah. He's like, all right, well, if you think you can sing, come on up here. Or come up here and line up right here to the side, and we're going to see who can sing. So they wheel out a piano, and he starts playing. And one person gets up and, you know, she does a thing and he's like, oh, okay, all right, well, I know Oakland can do better than that. And I was like, damn, that's kind of brutal in front of a room full of people that you don't know, right? A huge audience.
I mean, she wanted to go up there.
Well, yeah, no, exactly. And then a guy gets up. This is funny. A guy gets up and Jamie starts playing and the guy goes, Jamie. And Jamie's like, hey, bro, don't sing to me, right? Which I thought was funny. He was like, don't sing to me. All these women in here, don't sing to me, right? Whatever. And then this heavy set black woman got up and Jamie starts playing and she just starts singing. And I'm talking about like people in Oakland at the Paramount was like, woo, oh wow. Like, cause she could blow, right? Wow. So Jamie chimes in and Jamie's like, he's looking at her. And like I said, she's heavy set. And Jamie starts going, he goes, I got cookies, cakes, and ice cream. Like he started going in basically singing about foods that she would want to, that he would imagine she'd want to eat as a large set woman, right? And I was like, that's wrong, right? Because you can't invite somebody up on stage and you don't know what her situation is or how she feels about her body or whatever the case may be. She came to see you. She has this opportunity to sing for you. Like if he would have just regularly sang or even talked about like she could sing well, like commented on that thing that she had done, which was she was super talented, but to comment on her appearance in front of, you know, as comedians, we make a choice to get on stage. And if you and I get up there and we start joking about each other and our appearance, we're comedians. We're okay with that. Like we understand that that's a part of it. But to get a regular person that you invite up who actually is talented and you don't comment on their talent,
tear down while they're going, while they're rocking.
Dude, I walked out of there. I was like, I wasn't a Jamie fan anymore. I was like, yo, the dude he's talented, right? As far as like he can play the piano and he can sing and he's a comedian and he can act. He's talented. I can appreciate that. But I was like, as a person, I felt like he was wrong. And then I heard other stuff on his Foxtail Sirius satellite show, a couple things that I thought were kind of suspect as far as like just, you know, like just personality wise. I was like, this dude has got some issues. And then I saw where he roasted, they were doing the Emmett Smith roast. And I think Doug Williams was doing his thing, right? And Doug was having a hard time. He just wasn't, his stuff just wasn't hitting. And then Jamie got the lapel mic because he was host of ceremonies. And he's like, oh, that last joke. He's like, that last joke didn't work. Oh, are you starting to sweat? Oh, you're starting to sweat. I can see the beads of sweat. But he's got the mic over everyone and everyone's laughing. And Doug is just trying to like, all right, man, everybody know you got all this, that, and the other. And then Jamie's like, uh-oh, now you're trying to go with the other comedians. It's not looking good. Like he was roasting the dude who was already having a bad set. So I say all that to say, I wasn't fucking with Jamie after that. I was like, yo, the dude is wrong as a person. And then recently, Jamie talks about like some self-exploration, like finding some peace within and trying to be a better person and having some people in his life, in his personal life, kind of call him on some of his antics. And he actually talks about the turning over a new leaf and trying to be a better person. And so with that being said, like I fuck with Jamie again because he
Nice,
did
yeah.
that. Yeah, he did the work because he was lashing out, man. And it's like, yo, you know what it was? It was like, yo, you're gonna be the biggest, the strongest, the funniest, the most talented, and you're gonna be a dick. Come on, right? Like it's like, dude, you already won, right? Like you won. The dude is knocked out, and you're kicking him, right?
Right.
It's
See,
just
that's the
not.
thing, Reg. I just want to call out people so they can improve themselves. That's all it is. That's all it is, man.
That's all it is.
It's
All
all the
right.
Jamie Foxxes in my life. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, this was good times, and I thank you. And yeah, I don't know. We'll go from there, huh?
Yeah. Sounds good, man. Sounds
All
good.
right.
All right. It's always a
Good
pleasure,
times.
brother. Yeah,
All right,
good
man.
times. Hey, everyone out there, keep listening. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And yeah, we'll catch you next time.
See, I like when you sign us off. You're good at
Oh, thanks. Peace.
it.